Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension but couldn't figure out why? Maybe you've sensed that people avoid you, or the warmth in their smiles doesn't quite reach their eyes. It's a tough pill to swallow, but sometimes the reasons people dislike us are subtle, hidden in our everyday habits and behaviors. Take James, for example. He was always the life of the party, cracking jokes and sharing stories. Yet, behind his back, colleagues called him the attention thief. Why? It wasn't his humor they hated, but how he dominated every conversation. If you've ever wondered why you rub people the wrong way without meaning to, this video is for you. Before we begin, remember, this isn't about beating yourself up, it's about growth. If you're ready to discover the surprising reasons people might secretly dislike you and how to fix them, hit the like button and subscribe to Brothers the Stoic. Let's dive in. 1. You're overly negative. Negativity is contagious, and not in a good way. People naturally gravitate toward positivity because it uplifts them. If you're constantly complaining about your job, criticizing others, or focusing on what's wrong instead of what's right, it can create an atmosphere of gloom. Even if your concerns are valid, your tone might make others feel weighed down. Imagine you're at lunch with a group of colleagues. Everyone's excitedly sharing weekend plans, and you chime in with, "What's the point? Life's just a cycle of work and sleep." While your comment might be honest, it dims the mood. Over time, people start avoiding interactions because they associate you with a drop in energy. But why do people react so strongly to negativity? According to Stoic philosophy, humans are wired to seek peace and avoid unnecessary turbulence. When someone disrupts that peace repeatedly, they become an emotional burden. You might not notice it, but others silently retreat, seeking environments that recharge them rather than drain them. What's the solution? Balance is key. Vent when necessary, but balance complaints with gratitude. Instead of saying, "This weather ruins everything," try, "The rain is relaxing, but I hope it clears up soon." This subtle shift can make a big difference. By embracing a more balanced perspective, you'll notice a change. People will open up more, smile more often, and genuinely enjoy your company. After all, positivity isn't about ignoring challenges but choosing to approach them with a constructive mindset. 2. You come across as self-centered. Being self-centered isn't always about arrogance. Sometimes, it's the small ways we unintentionally make everything about ourselves. People might dislike you if they feel you're more interested in sharing your own stories than listening to theirs. Imagine a friend telling you about a tough day at work, and you respond with, "Oh, that's nothing. Let me tell you about my bad day." Moments like these make others feel unheard. Over time, this behavior creates a one-sided dynamic in relationships. Stoic philosophy teaches the importance of being present and focused on others, yet modern habits like checking your phone mid-conversation signal disinterest. Even if unintentional, it comes across as a lack of care, and people may quietly withdraw. Another example. During group discussions, do you often steer the topic back to yourself? It's easy to fall into this pattern, especially when trying to connect with others by sharing relatable experiences. But to them, it can feel like you're competing for attention rather than empathizing. What's the fix? Practice the art of active listening. When someone shares a story, pause before responding. Ask questions like, "How did that make you feel?" Or, "What do you think you'll do next?" Genuine interest strengthens bonds. Additionally, be mindful of your body language. Nodding, maintaining eye contact, and refraining from interrupting can go a long way in making people feel valued. These small actions shift the focus outward and nurture relationships. When you prioritize others' experiences and feelings, they'll naturally feel closer to you. You'll notice more meaningful interactions and fewer barriers in your relationships. Being less self-centered doesn't diminish your worth, it amplifies it in the eyes of others. 3. You're unreliable. Reliability is the foundation of trust, and when it's missing, resentment quietly builds. If people can't count on you to keep promises or follow through on commitments, they might start to dislike you, not openly, but in subtle ways like avoiding plans or excluding you from important conversations. Picture this. A friend invites you to help set up for their birthday party. You enthusiastically agree but cancel at the last minute because something came up. While you may have a legitimate excuse, repeated instances like this erode trust. To them, your words begin to carry less weight, and they start seeing you as undependable. Why does this matter so much? Stoicism emphasizes integrity, aligning your actions with your words. When there's a disconnect, people question your character. Even small flakiness, like being habitually late or forgetting commitments, sends a signal that others can't rely on you. The first step to fixing this is acknowledging the problem. Reflect on how often you've broken commitments, even minor ones. Then, take proactive steps to show you're dependable. For instance, if you say you'll help, follow through, even if it means making sacrifices. Setting boundaries is equally important. If you're overcommitting to please others, it's better to say no upfront than to disappoint later. Honest communication builds more respect than saying yes and falling short. Reliability isn't about being perfect. It's about showing consistency. When people see they can trust you, they'll value your presence and input more, strengthening your relationships. 4. You're overly competitive. Competition can be healthy, but when it dominates interactions, it creates tension. If you constantly try to outdo others, whether in achievements, opinions, or even jokes, people may feel uncomfortable around you. Instead of celebrating their successes, they may see you as someone who's always trying to one-up them. Consider this scenario. A friend proudly shares that they've been promoted. Instead of congratulating them, you respond with, "That's great, but my job comes with better perks." It may seem like a harmless comment, but to them, it feels dismissive and self-serving. Why does this behavior breed dislike? Stoicism teaches the value of humility and the dangers of comparison. When you constantly measure yourself against others, it shifts the focus from shared joy to personal validation. Over time, people may start avoiding sharing their achievements with you. To counteract this, practice celebrating others without turning the spotlight on yourself. When someone shares good news, resist the urge to add your own story. A sincere, "That's amazing, tell me more about it," can go a long way in building goodwill. Additionally, reflect on your triggers. If you feel the need to compete, ask yourself why. Are you seeking validation or feeling insecure? Addressing these emotions can help you shift your focus from competing to connecting. By fostering a collaborative mindset, you'll find that people appreciate your presence more. Instead of viewing you as a rival, they'll see you as an ally who genuinely supports their growth and happiness. 5. You gossip too much. Gossip may seem harmless, but it's one of the quickest ways to lose trust and respect. People might secretly dislike you if they feel you're prone to sharing others' secrets or spreading rumors. Even if you think it's entertaining, it often leaves a bad impression. Imagine discussing a mutual friend's private struggles in casual conversation. While the person you're speaking to may laugh or nod along, they're also wondering, what does this person say about me when I'm not around? Gossip creates a cloud of suspicion that's hard to shake off. Why does gossiping have such a negative impact? Stoicism teaches us to focus on self-control and kindness. Gossip is the opposite. It's reactive and often stems from insecurity or envy. Instead of building bridges, it creates divides, damaging your reputation. To break the cycle, start by pausing before sharing anything about someone else. Ask yourself, would I say this if they were here? If the answer is no, it's better left unsaid. Shifting your focus to uplifting conversations makes a noticeable difference. Another strategy is redirecting gossip when others bring it to you. If someone starts discussing someone else's flaws, steer the conversation toward positive topics or gently remind them of the value of privacy. This not only shows integrity but also sets boundaries. When people see you as someone who avoids gossip, they'll trust you more deeply. Your reputation will transform from someone who spreads rumors to someone who fosters genuine connections and respect. 6. You lack emotional awareness. People often distance themselves from those who struggle to understand or manage emotions, both their own and others. If you frequently dismiss others' feelings, come across as insensitive, or overreact to minor issues, this might silently push people away. Emotional awareness is a cornerstone of meaningful relationships, and its absence can make others feel disconnected from you. Picture this. A friend confides in you about a personal struggle, and instead of offering support, you shrug it off with, "You'll be fine. It's not that big of a deal." While you may not intend to hurt them, your lack of empathy can make them feel invalidated, causing subtle resentment to grow. Why is this such a deal breaker? Stoicism emphasizes emotional control, but that doesn't mean ignoring feelings. Instead, it teaches us to acknowledge emotions while responding thoughtfully. When you fail to recognize the emotional weight of someone's situation, they might perceive you as cold or indifferent. To improve, start by practicing active empathy. When someone shares their feelings, reflect them back. For example, if a friend says they're stressed about work, respond with, "That sounds really overwhelming. How can I help?" Small gestures like these show you care and value their emotions. Additionally, develop emotional awareness by reflecting on your reactions. Ask yourself, am I overreacting to this situation? Am I being considerate of the other person's feelings? Self-reflection helps you navigate emotions more skillfully and prevents unnecessary conflict. When you cultivate emotional intelligence, you strengthen your relationships and make others feel valued. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel understood, and this simple shift can transform how others perceive you. 7. You're too critical. Constant criticism, even when meant constructively, can wear people down. If you're quick to point out flaws or always find something wrong in every situation, others may start to feel uneasy around you. They might even avoid sharing their ideas or achievements for fear of being judged. Imagine being in a group setting where someone excitedly shares a new idea. Instead of encouraging them, you immediately point out its flaws. That'll never work because, while you may see it as offering helpful feedback, others may perceive it as tearing them down. Over time, this pattern can make people see you as negative and discouraging. Why does this breed dislike? Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own growth rather than fixating on others' shortcomings. Excessive criticism often stems from projecting our insecurities onto others, and it disrupts the harmony of relationships. To address this, start by choosing your battles. Not every flaw needs to be pointed out, especially in casual or personal interactions. Instead, focus on uplifting the strengths of others. For instance, if someone shares an imperfect idea, highlight what's good about it before offering suggestions for improvement. Additionally, practice self-restraint when tempted to critique. Ask yourself, is my feedback helpful or hurtful? Am I speaking to improve the situation or just to point out what's wrong? Thoughtful communication fosters better understanding and trust. By becoming less critical, you create a positive atmosphere that encourages openness and collaboration. People will feel safer and more comfortable around you, which strengthens bonds and dispels any lingering negativity. Dislike often thrives in silence, hidden beneath unspoken words and subtle behaviors. The reasons we've explored, whether it's neglecting others' boundaries, appearing insincere, or being overly critical, can alienate even the kindest hearts if left unchecked. The beauty of self-awareness, however, lies in its ability to transform relationships. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control others, but we can master our own actions and reactions. By identifying these 7 surprising reasons for hidden dislike, you've taken the first step toward change. The next step is to reflect on your behavior honestly. Which of these traits resonates with you? Where do you see room for growth? Begin small. If you've been unknowingly self-centered, practice listening more deeply during conversations. If emotional awareness is your challenge, strive to validate others' feelings. These shifts may seem subtle, but their impact on your relationships will be profound. Remember, no one is perfect and relationships are about progress, not perfection. People appreciate genuine effort more than flawless behavior. When they see you trying to change, their perception of you will shift and respect will grow. Ultimately, the goal is not just to avoid being disliked, but to cultivate authentic, meaningful connections. When you embrace self-awareness and take accountability for your actions, you pave the way for deeper relationships rooted in trust and mutual respect. Let your journey towards self-improvement inspire those around you. Share your experiences, reflect on your progress, and watch as negativity fades, replaced by a newfound warmth in your interactions. Keep striving, your growth will make a lasting impact.